Hey, hi, how are you? I hope y'all are doing well. I'm doing pretty damn well because I'm directing Hadestown Teen Edition, which is literally Hadestown, but with the words Teen Edition plastered at the bottom. This is it. I made this on Canva. I just took the logo and then just added my name and title. Oh man, the fact that choreographer is on there is Lord. I'm directing Hadestown Teen Edition this spring. I am so excited. I am so nervous. I feel like I'm going to poop my pants at any moment. I feel like I'm gonna wake up from a dream at any moment. Let's talk about it. Story time. Ooh. Hadestown has been on my mind since the pandemic. I remember like all of the ads popping up when it was about to come to Broadway, and I didn't really know much about the lore behind it in any way until the Tony Awards, where they mentioned that it all started at a community theater in Vermont. And I was like, excuse me? And so that's when I got into the show and started looking into it and just fell madly in love with it. I still have not seen it live. Mommy's poor, so take that as you will. I think the story is beautiful. I think the music is gorgeous. I'm also just a huge fan of Rachel Chafkin, who is the director of the Broadway production, and just the fact that I'm doing a full-fledged musical that she helped conceive and direct, I'm just like, whoa, this is so wild, so trippy, and I'm just so excited. So to go into a bit of like story time, this all started with a random message on my Instagram, and it was from a woman who I knew a few years back, where I actually met her kids through a children's camp that I was doing over at Northern Stage, which is the local regional theater in my hometown. That's where basically I grew up. That's where I got my training. That's where I learned about all aspects of theater, and kind of like fell in love with the craft even more. She tells me about a year after that camp that she was hired to be basically a producer for one of the local high schools in my hometown, to be their producer for their theater productions, which I was like, oh wow, that's so cool. And she was like, yeah, maybe we can have you come in for a workshop at some point. That would be really, I think the kids would really like that. And I was like, great, awesome. Then nothing really happened. And so, you know, life goes on. I go to grad school. I'm fucking miserable. And, you know, my mental health is just like, and then all of a sudden, she messaged me on Instagram. And, you know, she's been following me on Instagram and everything and has been kind of like up to date with what I've been doing. But she reached out to me and said, hey, would you be open to hopping on a call? Because I was curious if you would be interested in directing our spring musical. And I'm thinking, interesting. Shitty timing on my end, because I'm trying to get my master's before doing any work outside. But here we are. Later that day, I think, we hopped on a call and she basically gave me the whole spiel of what they were doing and, you know, what they're able to offer for stipend and what they're able to offer in terms of like how to make the director's vision basically a reality. However, when she mentioned the show the first time, I didn't hear it. And then she mentioned something about musicians. And so I thought, okay, then maybe this is a production of School of Rock. That was the only thing I could think of. And so at the very end, when she asked me questions, I was like, I am so sorry. Can you please repeat the show that you're doing again? And she says, we're doing Hadestown Teen Edition. And I was like, well, fuck me, because now I really need to think about this, because Concord Theatricals just released the rights for the teen edition about a year ago. And I didn't realize this, which is kind of like shocking that the school was able to get it, because so many schools have been applying for the rights for this show. So the fact that they were able to get it is like, whoa, wackadoozle daisy. And from what I can tell from Concord Theatricals, we're going to be one of the first shows that it's being done again near the area where it all started in Barrie, Vermont, which is about an hour away from where we are. And it was just, I don't know what the universe was telling me, but the universe was like, girl, we know you're unhappy at school. maybe we can look into this as an alternative. Cut to, I was trying to figure out how to do this project while also still graduating on time. Originally, all of my family was like super supportive with the exception of my dad. Sorry to call my dad out, but my dad was like, I think you should just stick it out, do the rest of your year and a half of grad school and just get the fuck out of there and then look for work. But everyone else has just been like, oh my God, that's an amazing opportunity. I really hope that you can do it. But the biggest thing for me was that I wanted to make sure that I got my master's on time. The thought of me having to delay another year wanted me to, I'll just say lose my mind even more. So I ended up reaching out to basically our professional development advisor. And we basically talked about this, and he was like, well, at the end of the day, what you should be doing is doing things that you feel like you're not going to regret. And so if you decide to say no, are you going to look back and regret saying no to this? And in my brain, I was thinking yes. So I was trying to think of like other ways to propose, like maybe a fast track kind of option for me to finish my semester and then come here in like mid-March to direct the piece. I really thought that it was a good idea, but the head of directing just basically slammed it down and said no. And I was like, cool, great. And then they said, we'll talk about other options. And so I go in and they basically tell me that I can just take a leave of absence and then asked me what other ideas I had. And I was like, well, it sounds like you're not gonna let me do what I proposed. You're not offering any other options except taking a year off. And since I am in a place where I need to be with my mom, because at this point, like, I am not able to like talk to her on the phone anymore. God damn it, I thought I wasn't gonna cry. I knew I needed to be with my mom. And so I was like, I guess I'm taking a year off. And they're like, great, awesome. Just fill out the paperwork and you should be fine to go. I just want to say to anyone running a master's program, if you want your students there, make them feel like they're wanted. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, I'm going to take a minute so I can get these tears out of my face. So that's how we're here. I've taken a lot of stuff that I learned from school about how to approach this. I've made a treatment. I have like done so much research on this piece. I guess in a way I'm trying to like prove myself that I can do this. And I'm just so grateful. Okay, the not crying thing isn't really happening, but okay. I'm just so grateful. I get to spend time with my family more. I get to work on myself more. I get to take care of my mind. It's just been a very emotional month for me so far of like coming to terms of like, okay, I'm not going back to school later this month. When this is posted, I will be in the middle of having auditions for this amazing show with some really cool kids. I met them last week and they all seem like really nice and very sweet. It's a mixed bag, but I am so grateful. I am so grateful to Yulia for reaching out to me and asking me, and hearing that so many people ended up recommending me, even people that I didn't even know. That, like, one woman even recommended me because apparently she saw my production of Big Fish at the community theater in our hometown that I did 5 years ago. And then people at Northern Stage recommended me, and I was just like so blown away that I was even recommended in the first place to do this. And then like choreographing. Okay, this will help me stop crying. So when it comes to me choreographing, this was completely by accident. This was like our plan B alternative, was having me do this. Sorry if you hear crunching in the background, Boo is eating. So we actually interviewed one choreographer who worked with some of the kids over the summer at Northern Stage with their musical theater intensive program, but they politely declined. And so our fallback was for me to choreograph. This is going to be new-ish for me just because I do have experience choreographing, mainly kids shows. I choreographed Aristocat Kids, which is how I met Yulia. I met her through her children who did Aristocats with me. And then the following year, they asked me to come back and I did Seussical Kids. And so I do have experience choreographing. It's not going to be, you know, triple time step into a triple pirouette into a double axel kind of thing. We're not going to do dance moms. It's going to be very grounded in more natural movements, very like approaching it in like ritual kind of ways, since I do feel like Hadestown is in such a ritualistic setting. We're just going to see how it goes and see what the kids are able to offer. I'm just excited and I'm grateful, and I can't believe I can't believe we're casting this show this week. And yeah, and it's really cool, and it's great to be back, and it's great to be able to spend more time with my mom. I really needed to find a way to get myself out of a really toxic environment, and now I can really focus on me and my health, because I haven't been able to focus on my health in the past year and a half. So, yeah, just grateful. And, yeah, I'm grateful. I don't know how I'm going to share this journey with y'all. I would love to figure that out. And if you're interested in joining along, leave a like and comment below if you're curious of seeing anything in particular. Hopefully I can figure out ways to share this journey with y'all and make it interesting, because I don't really know, I don't really know how to share this exactly. Thanks for stopping by. Enjoy the rest of your week. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe and at ease and free from harm. And yeah, I'll see you soon.